continuous bond with Seth. Fumbled his way to it, Ethan thought with a half-smile. It had been like watching two angry tomcats spit and claw. Now that Cam had married the pretty social worker, things might just settle down some. Ethan preferred a settled life. They had battles yet, with the insurance company refusing to honor Ray's policy due to suspicion of suicide. Ethan's stomach clutched, and he took a moment to will himself relaxed again. His father would never have killed himself. The mighty Quinn had always faced his problems and taught his sons to do the same. But it was a cloud over the family that refused to blow away. Seth's mother's sudden appearance in St. Christopher, her claims to the dean of the college, where Ray had taught English literature, of sexual molestation. That hadn't held. There'd been too many lies, too many shifts in her story. But there was no denying that his father had been shaken. There was no denying that shortly after Gloria DeLauder had left St. Chris again, Ray had gone off. And he'd returned with the boy. Then there was the letter found in the car after Ray's accident. An obvious blackmail threat from the DeLauder woman. There was the fact that Ray had given her money. A great deal of money. Now she'd disappeared again. Ethan wanted her to stay gone, but he knew the talk wouldn't stop until all the answers were clear. Nothing he could do about it, Ethan reminded himself. He stepped out into the hall, gave a quick knock on the door opposite his. Seth's groan was followed by a sleepy mutter and an annoyed curse. Ethan kept going, heading downstairs. He had no doubt Seth would bitch, again, about getting up so early. But with Cam and Anna in Italy on their honeymoon, and Philip in Baltimore until the weekend, it was Ethan's job to get the boy up, to get him headed over to a friend's house until it was time to leave for school. Crabbing season was in full swing, and a waterman's day started before the sun. So, until Cam and Anna returned, so did Seth's. The house was silent and dark, but he moved through it easily. He had a house of his own now, but part of the deal in gaining guardianship of Seth had been for the three brothers to live under the same roof and share the responsibilities. Ethan didn't mind responsibilities, but he missed his little house, his privacy, and the ease of what had been his life. He flicked on the lights in the kitchen. It had been Seth's turn to clean it after dinner the evening before, and Ethan noted he'd done a half-assed job. Ignoring the cluttered and sticky surface of the table, he moved directly to the stove. Simon, his dog, stretched lazily out of his curl. His tail thumped on the floor. Ethan set the coffee to brew, greeting the retriever with an absent scratch on the head. The dream was coming back to him now, the one he'd been caught in just before waking. He and his father, out on the workboat checking crab pots. Just the two of them. The sun had been blinding bright and hot, the water mirror clear and still. It had been so vivid, he thought now, even the smells of water and fish and sweat. His father's voice, so well remembered, had carried over the sounds of engine and gulls. "I knew you'd look after Seth, the three of you. You didn't have to die to test that out." There was resentment in Ethan's tone, an underlying anger he hadn't allowed himself to admit while awake. "It wasn't what I had in mind either," Ray said lightly, culling crabs from the pot under the float Ethan had gaffed. His thick orange fisherman's gloves glowed in the sun. "You can trust me on that. You got some good steamers here and plenty of sooks." Ethan glanced at the wire pot full of crabs absently and automatically noted size and number. But it wasn't the catch that mattered, not here, not now. "You want me to trust you, but you don't explain." Ray glanced back, tipping up the bright red cap he wore over his dramatic mane of silver hair. The wind tugged at his hair, teased the caricature of John Steinbeck gracing his loose T-shirt into rippling over his broad chest. The great American writer held a sign claiming he would work for food, but he didn't look too happy about it. In contrast, Ray Quinn glowed with health and energy, ruddy cheeks where deep creases